Hey, welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 742. It is Hump Day. We've got George in the house, Victor, good morning, David, Jenny, I know, can you believe it's the last day of November? Insanity. My wife leaves for sunny Florida next week. My mom leaves for Mississippi next week. And me and the dog, me and Biscuit get to hang out in cold Wisconsin. It was 50 degrees yesterday. It was like rainy all day, but it was still 50 degrees. Bad. It's cold today. I think it's only like 20. Well, it's 22 degrees right now. So it got really cold overnight. I think it's only going to be 26 as the daytime high, and then it's going to be 50 again by the end of the week, which is a little unseasonable for the start of December, although sometimes we get warm patches this early. By the way, thank you for the reminders. I did take the trash and last night. Had a few spotted cows last night. Watched Hobby Hotline. Great show last night. I always enjoy hearing the perspectives of Chris Stalgum. And then I don't know the cousins, cousin Oz and cousin Tony. I don't know them too well at all, actually. But they provided some good insights as well. So I tuned into Hobby Hotline last night, listed a couple cards on eBay. I sorted about half of my mail days and Cubs. So I've got a new count. I lost track. What's my new count up to? 838,966 Cubs cards. 838,966. That's not a complete count. I still have probably at least another 5,000 to add to that count. I have a 4-row box that's full from I haven't even counted the last probably 3 Goodwill pallets of Cubs cards. It's filled one 4-row box and about half of another 4-row box, and then I think I've got like a shoe box. But I think I was able to open and count all of the mail that's been piled up for the last month or so. So almost 7,000 added to the count. Almost 839,000 Cubs cards. Oh, I haven't counted Pro Debut or Heritage Minors from what I broke, but that's just a few hundred. Just a few hundred. So at some point, I really do want to get that counted before Friday. When I go to the Club 400 Christmas party, I want to take the Cubs cardometer with a fresh number to Club 400 on Friday. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. What's up, Boy Cards? George is here, and he says, what's George say? Are we all waiting, or is it only me? Everyone was waiting. Yes, my computer was okay. I was just waiting on the coffee. So I came downstairs, and it's like, oh, crap. It's when I came down stairs, it was 10 till 6:50. And I'm like, normally my normal morning routine, I wake up, shower, dressed, all that crap, come downstairs, make coffee. And then as I'm making coffee, I'm usually trying to think of what my topic's going to be. This week, I haven't had any topics. We just go off on rants this week. But if I have a topic to talk about, I'll sit on the couch upstairs from me, from the basement, the main floor, and I create my thumbnail. And then I come down to the basement, to the card room. I need a haircut. Look at how tall that's getting. And then I get the YouTube set up. And then sometimes if my computer wants to like reboot, or if it's done like an update overnight, then it takes like 15 minutes for my computer to boot up. So that's sometimes why I'm late. Today, I was a little tardy because I was waiting on the coffee. So this morning, I decided I'm going to skip making coffee because I need all the time I can get getting my computer booted up. Well, my computer booted up pretty fast, but I came down here just in case, booted up my computer, went back up, made coffee, came back down here, and the coffee, it was not enough time. So I waited. So I waited a few minutes, and that's why after I created the thumbnail. Oh yeah, so I booted my computer, made coffee, came back downstairs to set up the stream. I'm like, why did I come back a second time to set up the stream? So then after I set the stream and tweeted the link, I went back up to check on the coffee, and it was still not done. So it's like, oh crap. So then I just perused my emails and for a few minutes, and that's why I was a little tardy. But the important thing is coffee. We are live. Hopefully I'm not pixelated. And the most important part of Wednesday, the trash and the recycling bins are on the curb. Took those out last night. Oh, because I had a couple spotted cows, and I'm like, I'll just add these. Plus I have all kinds of waste from shipping. And so I put all that stuff in the bins after Hobby Hotline last night. Paige and Deanie Bean, good morning. Good morning. Terry is with us. He's also waiting. He was waiting. Jenny, we are all waiting. Probably running recycling can down. Just waiting on the coffee this morning. It's three things. Why is Bo late? The most common is the computer's not booting up. Second most common is the coffee's slow. Third most common, which only happens on Wednesday. Oh crap, I've got to run my trash and recycling out to the curb. George says, I know there are times when the stream doesn't switch over, so just wasn't sure. Zach and Porter, what's happening? Good morning to you. Let's see. Jenny says, well, I should say we are either all waiting or Bo to himself, probably talking to himself through his unplugged mic. Hey, it is. I still don't trust this thing, but I like talking into it. Still unplugged. Just a prop mic this morning again. Abraham checking in from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Welcome, Abraham. Herman in the house. What's up, Herman? John says your internet left for greener pastures as well, apparently. Yeah, I forgot to sync up the Nighthawk upstairs. Boston Smoke, good morning to you. Good morning, Christian. Dan in the house. John says Chris's knowledge is underappreciated. I would agree with that. Jenny says, guessing game, how many Cubs do you think you add from your pack ripping at the Couch People Christmas party? Ooh, that's a great question. Depends on how much I open, really. But I would say, let's see, what do I have? I'll open at least one Topps update box. I'll open at least one Heritage Miners from last year box. I've got a lot of Bowman to open. I've got a Topps update and a Topps archives, blasters. I'll say like over under 100. Over under 100. 100. Over or under. Probably a little bit over. Because I'll probably, 6 hours is a long time. I'll open, but I also have Bowman U. I have some other sports, like I have basketball. I have 3 or 4. I have a mega box of basketball. I've got a couple NBA hoops. I've got football illusions and playbook. I've got a couple overtime elite blasters. I've all my Bowman U football. I've got a couple Bowman U basketball. So I've got some other sports besides baseball. And then we'll probably open some non-sports packs. I'll say 100. I think 100. I think I'll go over 100 with the hobby boxes I have. So I'll say 120. 120.5. That's the over-under. 120.5. Let's see. George says the hole is bigger in Bo's mesh today, looking censored on my end. Yep, the internet is. We're back. Hey, it's a throwback. It's a way back Wednesday. We're going all the way back to March of 2022 with my internet connection and how crappy it is. I wonder if I sync this puppy up. See, I've got the red light on the Nighthawk. I push the sync button. Hopefully that doesn't take me offline. Oh yeah, even my bars, my Wi-Fi bars down here. Oh, it just perked up a little bit. It went from like 2 to 4 on my computer screen. Hopefully it did something on your end. Let's see. Dan says sold a Sean Kemp Santa Claus card this morning to get those Santa cards out. I've got a Santa Claus Pro Set card. It's not the first year Pro Set. It's like the second year, 1990. And I had it listed for $5, which is probably a little. I thought $5 it would sell like around now, Christmas, but it's still sitting in my eBay store. I'm surprised somebody didn't snag it up with the 50% off sale that I had last week. Because it probably will sell for like in the $250 range. I've sent some offers on it for $350. No takers. Randy says, with the different thicknesses of all cards, do you ever damage any cards when you feed them in the scanner? No, I won't say no. I've damaged a couple, and it wasn't it was my fault. It was the operator error, not the scanner's fault. Because I didn't have like a good system set up to catch the cards, so they kind of got stuck. And that's why I scan like $2 cards. So if I put one through the scanner and I like, if it gets if it hits another card and then like jams up from that, that's what happened. So what happened was when you feed it through, it collects into a box that I put under the scanner. But if you don't do that, you just have like a pile and it piles up, and then all of a sudden 2 cards connect and you've got them. I mean, they're feeding in pretty fast, and then it creates this jamming. So that's how I've damaged, but they're like $1.50 free shipping cards. So I throw it away. So yes, I have damaged a couple cards, but a couple cards out of 20,000. And it was all, each time it was my own fault for, either putting too many in the holder, in the dock, or not having a proper catching strategy. Still red light on the Nighthawk. Herman says, just a reminder for those in here, 10 days until the Couch People Christmas party. That's right. December 10th. Son of a... This is why you can't have piles on your desk. Don't worry. They're just wrestling commons. Let's see. Saturday, December 10th, Couch People Christmas party. Going to start at around 4 p.m. Central Time, and we'll probably wrap it up 9 p.m., 10 p.m., somewhere around there. It's going to be here on my YouTube channel. StreamYard will be open. I'll make sure my Wi-Fi, I'll make sure my internet's good. And I won't be in this room. I'll be out in the rec room. So I'll be split out on the floor with all my boxes. So yeah, Saturday, December 10th, 4 p.m. We'll call it 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be ripping. Initially I started it as like a Rip-a-Palooza or something, whatever I called it, Rip Fest. And I was just going to just stream what I opened. It's like, let's just open it up to like, hey, if you want to pop in, we'll do it on StreamYard if you want to pop in. And then Jenny came up with an awesome name, the Couch People Christmas Party. So we're rolling with it. So anyone and everyone is welcome. Well, not everyone. No Richards allowed. If your name's Richard and you're not, you get my point. So that's the only rule of the Couch People Christmas Party. Don't be a dick. No dicks allowed. So we will open wax. You can pop on if you just want to come in to talk and chat and hang out. More than welcome. If you want to rip some stuff, more than welcome. So we're going to do that Saturday, December 10th. Herman did do a Secret Santa. I will say my Secret Santa is on its way to parts unknown. It's a secret until it arrives. And then my recipient will see who it's from. I had to ask. And I've asked this before. And it works. Secret Santas work different ways. Like if you have an office Secret Santa, you can legit be secret about it. Like, here's a gift. And then at the end, it's like, oh, that's from me. I hate gift giving at like Christmas parties. Just absolutely despise it. I also hate people singing happy birthday, both to me and to somebody else. It just, for some reason, it just makes me go crazy. I hate the happy birthday song at a birthday party, and I hate gift giving at a Christmas party. Is that weird? I can't be the only one. I know the happy birthday song. I know like most people despise that. That's not weird. The gift giving at Christmas parties, that's probably weird. So I had to ask a dumb question. Is this really like, do I like write a note to my recipient, or do I just be like, surprise? It's a secret. And then Herman wisely said, well, you're probably going to want to have a return address on your package. And it's like, oh yeah, duh. Unless I like whited it out. But then what happens if it gets lost in the mail? I guess it still could go to the recipient. But anyway, it's, I guess when you're doing it, when you're mailing a Secret Santa, it's a little different than like if you're at your family Christmas party or the office Christmas party. So my Secret Santa went out yesterday, mailed it out. So it's en route to a state that I will not name. So I sent that out yesterday, picked up some stuff for my Secret Santa recipient at the Janesville Card Show on Saturday. So we'll do that. So we're gonna open our Secret Santa gifts at the Couch People Christmas party as well. Ed, good morning to you. Ed, I did read your message this morning. I'll respond to that. So thank you very much. Let's see, George in the house. I already said that. George cleaned his coffee pot to get ready for winter coffee. I've now switched from iced coffee, which I buy at the store, to hot from home for winter. I'm not an iced coffee drinker. And what annoys me at drive-thrus, and this really only happens during the summer months, a lot of times the person working the drive-thru assumes incorrectly that I want iced coffee in July. I don't like iced coffee. I want hot coffee. I know it's 90 degrees at 7 a.m. in July. I don't care. I want hot coffee. So it's happened so many times, and a few times it's actually, I don't catch it. They just assume, and they give me an iced coffee, and I'm like, what the hell's this? I didn't order this. I ordered a coffee. I think if you order a coffee, it's default hot. If you want an iced coffee at Dunkin', Starbucks, McDonald's, whatever other place sells coffee, if you order a coffee, you want a hot coffee. If you want to order an iced coffee, you order an iced coffee. Coffee is coffee, it's hot. Iced coffee is cold, it's iced coffee. That's my rant today. So I always have to be cognizant. Okay, it's 70 degrees outside. They may think I want an iced coffee. No, I don't. I want hot coffee every time. So George is seasonal. George is why the people that screw up my coffee orders. This is why people screw up my coffee orders, because George is a seasonal iced coffee drinker. So they assume, well, George is an iced coffee drinker in July and a hot coffee drinker in December. So the next guy through, Bo, ordered a coffee. We're going to give him an iced coffee in July. No, I want a hot coffee in July and August and every other damn month of the year. Coffee is hot. Iced coffee is cold. Rant over. Dan says there were tons of Christian Pulisic cards on ComC for under $1 a piece. So maybe soccer has entered their junk wax era, or people just aren't collecting low-dollar men's soccer cards. I think the latter is true, Dan. Because when I went through before Saturday's card show, I brought out my banging quarter boxes, and I had a sock box, and I filled it up, and I went through the last Goodwill pallet that I picked up. I was going through the cards, like, are there any players I've heard of? And I've heard of Pulisic. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? I don't know. But I'm like, ooh, I'm going to put him aside. And I'm going to put this other guy aside. Like Ronaldo. I've heard of him. Who was the other guy? Jude Bellingham. I think he had scored a goal in one of the World Cup games. So I pulled those aside, and I looked, and it's like, ooh, I've got money, money, money. No, you are correct, Dan. The low-dollar men's soccer cards do not sell. And it's like, these are $1.50 free shipping cards on eBay. They'll sell it $1.50 with free shipping, but I don't want to spend the time to list them. Hockey and soccer, sorry. So I just think there's just not a market for those. So I put them in my quarter box. I think I probably sold a few. I had a few people on Saturday look through my soccer box and pull out some soccer cards. And then I dumped it off on my buddy Kyle. And I'm like, $100, great deal. It's 2 cents a card. Jude Bellingham might be in there. Some other guys that you've heard of might be in there. And then he's like, he hemmed and hawed, and I didn't want to take another damn box home. So I'm like, $60. He's like, okay. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to give you some of that money back because there's some cards that I want to get my Secret Santa in your boxes. And so he's like, oh, okay, well, we can, I'll give you more in trade. So it'd be a better deal because we did a cash trade transaction. So yes, to Dan's comment, I think low dollar men's soccer cards, there's just not much of a market. Zach and Porter says, for more than, in my estimation, 700 episodes. Shoot, I scrolled too far. Where are we at? I'm missing a lot. Let's see. Oh, I saw. Where's that? Oh, there we go. For more than, in my estimation, 700 episodes, I share Hobby Evolution on Twitter. It always defaults to Bo when I type in 1. Now Elon has 1M Reds and Rangers pop up first. Interesting. Why in the hell is that? Paige and Deanie Bean, Andrew says, tag owner was interviewed for an hour last night and tough questions were at. Who, on what channel? Is that a link? I don't know if for some reason when I'm in this screen, yeah, it can't see YouTube. Can you just, Andrew, can you just drop who interviewed the tag owner? YouTube links when I'm in my back end, YouTube links, it just takes me to my own creator studio, YouTube studio, which is, I don't know why that is. Jaden, what's up? Good morning to you. Christian says, prepping for a work meeting. I'm testing the tech by broadcasting the show in the conference room. Hey, that's awesome. Let's see. Something Sports Card says, who did tag interview? What's up? Something Sports Cards. John says, I have a Heritage HB and an Archives. Oh, Hobby Box. Duh. Heritage Hobby Box and an Archives Hobby Box for the Couchmas Christmas, for the Couchmas party. Hey, I like that. The Couch People Christmas party, the Couchmas party. Herman says, is that counting what everyone else pulls that you will more than likely get sent? 120.5 is the over-under on cards I pull from my boxes. Not from like the collective party ripping, but just from my own boxes. Good morning, Mark. What's happening? John says, and a few omnipresent 88 Don Russ wax boxes. Andrew says, just like the old days, it's a way back Wednesday. I should write, I used to write notes until I was like 30. I would write notes on my hand. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm 30. I don't think it looks professional to be walking around with notes on my wrist. So it's like, gosh, how do I remember things? Because I don't remember shit. Earmuffs. Oops. I'm supposed to say earmuffs before I say the S word. I don't remember shit. Earmuffs. So it's like the best thing. what happens if I like, okay, I need to go reset my modem or router, whatever the hell it is, upstairs. Oh, I'll write myself a note on this yellow pad and I'll put it in my pocket. Guess what? I forgot I put a note in my pocket. But if it's on my hand, oh, I've got to reset my modem or router or whatever the hell it is. Ha, it's there. I remember it. And then it looks like, and then I try to scrub it off like you're 21 years old at the club and you've got 7 markings. Oh, you went to 1, 2, 3, 7 clubs last night. Wow, you were out bar hopping. Anyways, let's see. Good morning, Cooter. What's up? George says Frank's robot is sucky. Yeah, that's probably what it is. That's why he probably got a robot snowblower. Let's see. Frank's a robot. I haven't seen Frank in a while. It's winter. We don't see each other that much. Just in passing, like if we're down to the mailbox. So Frank and I share like a mailbox. Like we share a mailbox post in our neighborhood. So each like group of how like we have in front of in between my yard and Frank's yard, there at the curb, there's 2 mailboxes, Frank's mailbox and my mailbox. So sometimes we run into each other at the mailbox. Or if it snows and we're out shoveling or snow blowing. I don't shovel. Well, unless it's like if it's enough to like not use the snow blower, I'll like just push it off. But usually I'm going to fire up the damn snow blower. Let's see. But usually in those interactions, it's freaking cold. So they're pretty short interactions. Let's see. I'll take Fuzzy Bo in the card room over Bo in the rec room any day. Felt like an odd online therapy session. It was. It was off. Hobby Evolution in the rec room is just, it's not Hobby Evolution. It's just Bo talking with a bunch of balls. It was just, it was weird. It was weird for you. It was weird for me. I did feel comfortable in there. And I felt like I was like on the couch, not like the fun couch that we collectively as the couch people relax on, but like a therapy couch. I felt like I felt like a different person in the rec room for Hobby Evolution. It was not. I agree, Zach. It was not Hobby Evolution out in the rec room. Let's see. So now my fear is the new house. It's going to be a different look. I'm not going to have where I do Hobby Evolution starting in hopefully June. It's going to be a completely different look, and there's not going to be boxes of cards behind me. I don't know. We'll see. The internet should be better. That's good. So we'll see. Let's see. Bo is starting to look like Kramer. I know the hair. It's starting to get out of screen. Scotty Dubs, what's up? John says, I think Biscuit is playing Call of Duty upstairs, sucking all the bandwidth. Zach says, piles of cards on our card table and Porter playing Nerf basketball in here will collide once in a while, resulting in some stack knocks. And I know, like, every time I start a stack, I'm like, I mean, fortunately, I don't stack, like, good stuff. I stack, like, 1990 score football and 2017 wrestling. So that's what I stack. And I know it when I stack, it's like, that stack's getting a little too tall. I'm going to, like, get excited, bump the table, and a stack's going to fall. Or, I mean, you can see it looks like crap over here. Let's see. Andrew says the rip and dip, Zach and Porter copyright. Zach and Porter came up with Couch People Christmas Party. I thought it was Jenny. Sorry, my apologies. A Keating would have put another couch person's address as the return address. We're deceptive. Oh, that is sneaky. That is sneaky. I didn't even think of that. Cooter says next year we should all use Bo's return address. Use your words when ordering coffee. I guess I need to be more clear. Coffee is coffee, hot. Iced coffee. You shouldn't have to identify hot coffee. And now I'm out of coffee. Coffee is hot. So I'm way behind in the chat because I'm just catching up to my coffee rant from 10 minutes ago. George says your coffee rant is reminiscent of a Seinfeld episode. Up next, feats of strength. Let's see. Jenny should be the moderator and line monitor for Couch People Christmas Party. Herman says, I received a package yesterday marked Secret Santa with a return address, but since I have everyone's address, I know who it's from. I do too. It's marked don't open till the 10th, so I'll respect their wishes. That's very cool. Let's see. Rich says, good morning. Hit the like button, subscribe. And is there any chat drama this morning? No chat drama that I know of, but I'm still 10 minutes behind. So hopefully there's not. Good morning to Uncle Rich. Cooter says, agree, coffee is hot. Don't get me started on sweet tea versus tea. If I ordered iced tea, tea by definition does not have sugar. So don't ask me sweetened or unsweetened. There you go. Centex Rocket is in the house. Let's see. Rich says, I prefer sweet tea or I want to sweeten my tea myself. You know, I think I have a different opinion on tea than I do on coffee. Coffee, I'm like, well, you know how I am on coffee. Tea, I can go both ways on tea. Sometimes a good sweet tea, nice and sweet and sugary. Sometimes I like just the blunt tea taste with no extra sweeteners. Just give me some tea. My dad used to make sun tea. Man, he was like a sun tea fiend. I was growing up. One of those big, and you see them at Walmart, the big glass jugs, and they even have the little spout. I loved playing with the spout. What I really loved to do, and my mom really pissed my mom off, when the sun tea was now moved from the sun into, and why is, okay, help me out with the sun tea thing. What the hell does the sun do? Does the sun do anything to tea? What does the sun do to the tea? My dad would put this big jug of tea out on the front sidewalk so the sun shone on the tea, and it was sun tea. What the hell is sun tea anyway? Sun tea? What does the sun do to tea? That's my question. So once the tea came out of the sun and into the fridge, we had the little spigot, the little spout on the glass jug of sun tea, and I would put my head under and I would wheeze the juice. That's an Encino Man reference. Wheezing the juice. And I would wheeze the juice. And Mom would get so pissed off. It was kind of like drinking the milk straight from the just that didn't look good, did it? So I was wheezing the juice. Mom hated it. Sun tea. Hopefully I'll find an answer to what the hell sun does to the tea. Messi was another player that I found in my soccer box. Soccer is triggering people. It's an interesting. I've noticed soccer triggers people much like Star Wars. And now every May 5th, because May the 5th be, or May the 4th be with you, or whatever the hell that saying is, annoys the crap out of me. And I'm not a Star Wars guy. Okay. If you are, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a Star Wars fan. But when people say they've never seen Star Wars, it triggers Star Wars fans. They like, oh, why are you bragging about never watching Star Wars? Why do people brag about that? And it's like, hey, I was just relaying a fact. I have never seen the movie Sex and the City. Now, it's been on the TV because my wife watches it every other day, but I have never watched Sex and the City. If I tweeted that, nobody would get upset. But if I tweet, I've never watched a minute of Star Wars, all of a sudden, the Star Wars geeks come out and they just, oh, I'm so angry at you. And I find soccer to be the same. I find the soccer really triggers people. It is an interesting phenomenon. I totally agree with that. John says tag owner is some 70-year-old dude who is completely lost every time he gets on screen. You know, I did watch. I watched a lot more of Jeremy Lee's show earlier this year. I haven't watched too many lately, and I think that was kind of the jumping the shark. And I stopped watching his show when he had like a 5-episode series with the Tag owner, and then of course Jeremy went to work for Tag. Now it makes sense. But it turned me just. It was, I don't know. It was different. So yeah. And I'm not a grading guy. I submit GC, but it's for my own personal collection. I like the slabs. I'm not like into grading companies and all that crap. Terry's a cold brew coffee aficionado. Let's see. And I guess now that I say, and here I am talking smack about geeks getting mad at me for never watching Star Wars, and here I am ranting about coffee. There you go. I am when it comes to coffee, it triggers me. Coffee, there's my trigger point, coffee. Some people's trigger point is okay. Some people is soccer. Okay, I guess we all have our trigger points. Centex says, I'm the same with happy birthday and gift giving. It's so insincere and forced, but you have to do it. I agree. Like, happy birthday to... Can we just please get this over with? Bobbles and Ball Cards interviewed him. Aha. I don't think I've ever watched that. It is YouTube because you sent the link earlier. John says, whiteboard, dude. It's the new hack for hand writers. Whiteboard. Is that an app? I have a whiteboard in front of me, but the problem is I can't take the whiteboard with me. Herman says, my latest trading card database card DVD trade came 1000 BC. Interesting. I've never seen that one. Let's see. You highlight the new Yankee Stadium. No history, no ghosts. We're going to make our own history. No Frank next door. I know. Rich, you have a good day. In Bo showing female wrestlers in very little clothes, he is tempting the sex. So no Frank next door. I don't know one of the two neighbors on each side. I don't remember to the which direction is that? West. I do not know the neighbors to the west. I do know the neighbors to the east. They're actually like best friends to my mother-in-law, and they spend most of their time in Florida. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of neighbor shenanigans we can come up with at the new house. But we get Frank for another, 7 months. Let's see. Where are we at? John says, I don't have a cat, as they are dicks when it comes to card stacking. Cats are, yeah. Here's the thing. Biscuit, I could put stacks all over my basement floor, and Biscuit would like see them and like it would scare her. She avoids like any object. There could be a leaf on the ground and she will just kind of like, oh, what's that thing? That's not supposed to be there. And she will like prance around it. She's very dainty, very skittish. So I can have stacks and like friends come over. They're like, how can you have cards out with a dog? And I'm like, this dog is like scared. The dog is more scared of those stacks of cards than the stacks of cards are scared of the dog. Zach says, Porter just heard that. He said, no, Jenny came up with it. Porter said, couch potato Christmas party. Jenny had the other. Aha! Now we've gotten to the bottom of it. Let's see. Jenny says, hope Porter is feeling better. I will echo those sentiments. Porter, feel better. Victor says, hi to Porter. More people have said hi to Porter than Zach. Porter says hi. He's starting to feel better. Just sounds sick. That's a bummer. Let's see. Zach says, you asking what does the sun do is similar to people's first reaction on card grading. Hey, good point. David in the house. Dak T-Mac fan says, no clue what the sun does, but that kind of tea is awesome. It is. I'm going to have to, let's Google it right now. What sun do? Have you ever played the Google game? Type something into Google and see what it comes up with. So I typed, what does the sun do? First response what does the sun do for us? Seems logical. Second, what does the sun do in photosynthesis? That takes me back to high school science. What does the sun do in the water cycle? What does the sun do to your skin? What does the sun do for the earth? Those are boring. Let's see. What does the sun do to tea? Okay. Here you SeriousSeats.com. Boom. The story is that the heat of the sun makes tea extraction faster. So it doesn't make it taste any different. It makes the whole process of making the tea faster. Now it all makes sense. It's for impatient tea makers, giving you ready to drink tea within a couple of hours without the need to heat up water indoors. Some folks also say that the flavor is different because of the lower temperature extraction. So that sounds like an old wives' tale. Does putting tea in the sun help? But despite the joy of making something so simple, sun tea has had its day in science labs, and alas, sun tea can pose a health risk. It seems that tea brewed in the sun creates a breeding ground for bacteria, and so, if we go with science, sun tea is not such a good idea. Okay, so that's foodhero.com. How long does tea need to sit in the sun? 3 to 4 hours. Do not exceed 4 hours. Let's see. How does the sun brew tea? Sun tea is brewed in a warm place, such as in the summer sun or on a kitchen counter. You don't have to boil water like other iced tea methods required to make sun tea. Simply add water in tea bags to a glass jar, let steep, and the tea is ready to drink within hours. So it's basically just for the impatient tea drinker, it's a faster process. Doesn't make it taste any better. In fact, it may hurt you. It may give you bacteria, bad bacteria. What does the slab do? What was that song that was like? It was a kid song like 10 years ago. What does the, oh my God, it was, what does the lion say? Or what does the dog say? That song. My boss, when I worked at Western Illinois, our sports information director had kids at the time. They're like in college now. But they were like obsessed with that song. And then like all of us in the office would sing that song. And it was stuck in my head for 10 years. And it finally just got out of my head until I just brought it up. John says, we collect cards. Now we're dissecting the osmosification of tea in the sunlight. John says, did you sell the C3PO? I did, yes. I ended up taking like a $65 offer for it. I had it listed. What did I list it for? 100 or best offer? When I initially found it, and I have a bunch of Star Wars cards that I just haven't got around to listing from that same set. I'm like, oh man, if I could get 40 or 50 bucks, I'd be happy. And then I started looking at some of the comps. It's like, oh, I could probably get more. So I listed it for 100 or best offer. First offer came in at 65, sat on it for, a day and accepted. So I was happy with 65. Let's see. David says the sun brews the tea. There we go. Andrew says just bought a pack of Panini stickers for Dean from a gas station. Nice. Casey's used to have not only great pizza, but packs of baseball cards. I don't think every Casey's that I've been to now no longer carries baseball cards or any other trading cards for that matter. George says, sun creates a slow release of goodness for a flavorful beverage. David says, not a Star Wars fan here, and I have a son named Luke born on May 4th. Interesting. Zach and Porter says, what does Zach and Porter say? I drink hot black coffee all day. However, a cold brew is a nice change now and then. Porter just got triggered by Bo not watching Star Wars. John says, my wife gets Starbucks full frou-frou orderer. Then she gets home and adds more ingredients into her drink. You coffee people are strange. I'm just coffee with a dash of cream. That's it. And I'm not even like picky on the type of cream I put in my coffee. I usually rotate. Like I go through like a bottle of creamer once a month. So I think right now I'm working on like a sweet cream. And then last month I jumped off the ledge and I did the freaking pumpkin stuff and it sucked. So I'll never do that again. So my next one I might do, who knows, amaretto, hazelnut, French vanilla, Irish cream. We don't know. I have stayed away. You can get like really frou-frou cream. There can be like almond joy, like 7 different chocolates. But I try to keep it simple. But nope, just for me, hot coffee, just a splash of cream, and it doesn't matter what type of cream. Let's see. Cooter says you were sitting in a basement talking into a computer surrounded by 3 million sports cards, and you refer to Star Wars fans as geeks. Kettle the Pot is holding on line 1. Oh, I know. I'm a total geek. I am 100%. And I will admit it freely. Yes, I am a geek, but so are Star Wars geeks. We are all geekiness. We are all geeks. We just share different geeky hobbies. George says, I drink coffee that comes from turds, John. Nothing added, but a little shit taken away. Delicious. Jenny says, Porter is pretty famous. Let's see. Zach says, you don't need Google. You just need to read your chat. I know, I'm way behind. Let's see. Jenny says, we aren't Google here. Let's see. Andrew says, Bo, you are special. I don't even know what that could be referring to many different things. Card shows are not a breeding ground for bacteria, I suppose. The Minneapolis Kid, I think that's a first time. What does the fox say? Thank you. What does the fox say? And then I don't know what the fox, and everybody says the fox. And I'm the only one that doesn't know. Fall Creek Collectibles, what's up? What does the fox say? Brian Wolf, good to you. Cooter says, my Casey's has shootings more often than they have pizza. That is disturbing. That's not good. Why are there so many shootings at gas stations? Like here in Madison, like it's like there was a shooting at this gas station off Verona Road. It's like, Jesus, why are gas stations breeding grounds for drive-by shootings? It's that's disturbing too. Let's see. 8 o'clock hazelnut coffee. Love cold brew. Terry has this Snickers creamer. I think I have tried that one. Let's see. Minneapolis Kid. I used to be NP firm, but I changed the name because you were having problems with it. Yes, I was. Thank you. And I think I asked your name at one point, so I apologize for not remembering. The Minneapolis Kid. That's much easier to say. Let's see. I did not prepare for a name the player today. Let's see. What do I have? But I do want to. Do I have any modern stuff? I was gonna pull some 70s cards. People shouldn't talk soccer at Casey's. Let's do name the player. I'm just gonna pull some random cards out. So we're gonna name that player. Minnesota Twins, 1978. This is a toughie. Minnesota Twins catcher. Not a good internet day. Okay, so can you even see this? Minnesota Twins catcher. This is a tough one. Terry Bulling. Okay, we're not going to play name the player today. Terry Bulling. So I have Dan Ford. That's a good guess. Dan Ford is a good guess. Laudner, not Laudner. What did I can't even remember the guy's name. Terry Bulling. Terry Bulling. So I think that's what I had for today. We won't play name player. Let's see. I need to go. Bruce, good morning to you. Did you ever reach out to Ty about the vlog episode about the collection in Sulphur Springs, West Virginia? No, I did not. Disco Dan Ford, not a catcher. Let's see. The vlog episode. I did not reach out about him, but I did watch. Is episode 2 out on that series? And that was with Harlan, who Harlan is sometimes in our chat. I will I bid on one of the cards. I think there was a Joe Tinker that was part of that collection, and it went higher than I was willing to go at auction. So I was watching. So that's what I had for today. Let's see. Episode 2 is Thursday. Thank you. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. This week, today's Wednesday. Let's see. What was that thing that Ty said you would be doing in the next couple of months? Was that bulk shipping? Printing the bulk labels? That could be. Oh, by the way, I set up my new computer last night. I love it. It's an all-in-one, which is nice because you don't have it's not a laptop. It's not a bulky computer thing, dock or whatever you call it, tower. So I like it. So I got to get that fired up. He was probably talking about bulk, and I'm not going to do that. It's not any faster, the bulk printing labels. And I know some people swear by it, and that's okay. And I swear by my method. It doesn't save me. It won't save me any time, and it will probably lead to more headaches based on how I ship. So no, I will not be doing bulk printing labels. John says, LOL, iMacs have been all-in-one for decades. There's another trigger point. That's another trigger. Macs, the Mac and PC debate. That's John. We found John's trigger point. Macs is John's trigger. Or I guess C's would be his trigger. Minneapolis Kid says, do you have a thermal label printer? Yes, and I swear by the thermal label printer. I use the Brother QL1100. Swear by it. I know there's other machines that people use, but I use the Brother QL1100. I can't recommend any others because I haven't used. Well, I've used the QL800. I would not recommend that one because it doesn't print the 4x6 labels, and I had a lot of issues with the 2x7 labels because of the post office not scanning and then refusing to scan the 2x7. So I got the QL1100 and I love it. Jenny says, Cooter says, talking about your new computer is rude. We know we are the stepchildren. Someone printed bulk labels yesterday and the labels didn't generate, but they charged them. There's one reason. Do not use it. Buy 100 labels, but have to rebuy them. And it's a really annoying process when that happens because it's not like it's just like any refund. Take money from you right away. But if they take money from you incorrectly, they don't refund it right away. It's like a 2-day process or 3-day process, which it is what it is. But when it's the fault of eBay, it sucks that it's like, just do it right. Give me my money back. John says, my MacBook Pro has a built-in thermal printer. Brother 1100 is the purchase I've made in a while. John says, I may have made that up. Terry says, I recently started using bulk labels much faster for me, but I don't ship as many. Brian says, Amazon thermal label maker is about $100, so much cheaper than printer ink. I agree. Although the QL1100, I was just pricing it out. One of my dealers, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings after the Madison Card Show, and he's like, yeah, they're pretty expensive. And I'm like, it's like $150. Well, it was $150 when I bought it 2 years ago. They're now like $300. They've doubled in price. So the QL1100, last I saw on Amazon, they may have had, maybe there's Cyber Week deals, I don't know. But it was like $300. But still, if you're printing a lot, I would definitely use it. John wants to know, do your thermal printers print Wi-Fi or do you have them wired? Actual serious question. Mine, I think you have the ability to be wireless. Mine's wired. Mine's plugged in. So mine's USB. Actually, you know what? I don't think it does have the capability to go wireless. Maybe it does. Actually, I have no idea. But mine's plugged in. I do know that it's plugged in via USB. The other part, I don't know. I don't know if it can be wireless. I'm sure there are wireless options. I'm not sure if this model is. So yes, I would totally. Terry's comment is uh, I'm just curious why does it make it faster? That's my question. How does it make it faster? Because it's still printing them for you. And here's and I've tried to explain it in some things I have difficulty explaining clearly enough. Um I lost my train of thought. Regarding to it's fast. So I'll try to explain it clearly enough. Um I don't ship like in a straight line. And what I mean by that is it's not always first in, first out. So if this order was placed at 7 a.m., this order was placed at 7:10 a.m., this order was placed at 7:20 a.m., I'm not going in a straight line. Typically, I do and I try to do that, but sometimes I'm all over the place on shipping. Um, and from what some people that use the bulk method, it's like in a straight line. And so they pull and pull and pull. Sometimes it's way faster for me. It's like, oh, these are cards I just listed. And I just sold it. So it's like, oh, I'm going to pull this green Riley green off the top because I just sold it. Boom. And it goes. So like I'm kind of all over the place when I ship, if that makes any sense. Herman says, I got mine for the price of about 4 in cartridges. What are my December goals? How many active are you trying to be at the end of the month? Well, I haven't set that goal because Card Dealer Pro is still not working. There is an override, and I know Ed has been playing around with it. So I went in and I was alerted there was an update yesterday where you can override the error was popping up. I did that and I tried to export and it still didn't work. So the Card Dealer Pro was looking into why that happened. So hopefully, I'd like to get to my my goal, and I was well on my 30,000 active listings by today. But I sold so many cards. That's awesome. That's the goal. That's the true goal. Sell more cards, not list more cards. So now I'm down. I'm under 28,000 active listings. And I was at, I think before my sale, I was at 29,300 active listings. And now I'm down to like 27,900. So that's good. And I haven't done any bulk uploads in a week. But I have added a bunch of, I've probably added 100 to 200 just from my phone in the last week. So I haven't really set any active listings goals, probably 30,000 by the end of December, because it's going to be, I'll be home a lot, outside of the next couple weekends, with card show, Christmas party and card show. But, I don't know. I would say probably right now just to get to 30,000. But we'll see. Brian says everything that brother makes Amazon. Oh shoot. Everything that brother makes Amazon makes for about a third of the price. I use their label makers. Also, I just buy the Amazon ones for about $4 per cartridge. And brother is about $20. Yeah, I get all of the labels from Amazon. My entire house is wireless. Don't tell Liverman. I get that reference. I don't like plugging in. I only sell a few things a week, so it's not a priority to go thermal. Thermal, however, makes more sense for bulk. Absolutely. And that's what I tell people. And that's what I told Craig when he saw the price of, $300. He's like, man, that's, pretty expensive. It is. And if you're, and I said, well, how many items a week are you shipping? And if, I don't even know, I had a number in mind a while, if it's less than 50 a week, I would say, yeah, there's no reason. Less than 50 a week. Now for me, that's, hammer that hours. But that's, now I'm used to 200 to 300 at a time. So I say if under 50 a week, there's really no need. But the more, like, eventually you'll save money. Like, you're going to save money no matter how many shipments you have. You will save money in the end. But if you're shipping 10 a week, that money, you may not recoup that cost for 5 years. If you're shipping 50 a week, You may not recoup that for 3 years. If you're shipping 100 a week, it may be a year and a half. You're shipping 1,000 a week, you might recoup that in 3 months. So it's eventually you will save money on a thermal label printer. It's just how fast are you going to be able to save that money? Eventually it's going to come to a cross, and it just depends based on what you do. Terry says, I ship all the orders every day, all the cards in order, and then print bulk so everything lines up. And see, that's how, like, I don't do it that way. So, like, my method sounds like all over the place, but it is and it isn't. But I don't ship my orders every day because sometimes I have 200 in a day. And I just don't, if I do a card show and I have 150 sales come in, and then I have additional sales when I get home, it's kind of like, it's a flood. David says, I don't like bulk shipping because it does not give access to the custom text field. Oh, I did not know that. By default, it adds the eBay order number, and I append some letters to help me know what order the label is for. Oh, interesting. Let's see. I had a solar panel guy at my door company called Trinity. Any thoughts on solar? I have no thoughts on solar. Not that I'm for or against solar. I just don't have any experience with it. Cooter says, go thermal. John, it's awesome for even a few labels a week. I use mine to make box labels as well. Let's see. Oh, I never even thought about it. I have never used my thermal label printer for anything other than printing shipping labels. I've never used it like in Microsoft Word to print labels for like my boxes. It never even occurred to me until you mentioned it. Let's see. I plan on listing a lot more in December. Maybe I'll make the jump. Jenny says, if you're shipping 1,000 a week, I would hope you recoup the cost in less than 3 months. Yeah, you're probably right. Many folks don't realize that printer ink is the most expensive material on earth. The cost per weight is phenomenal. Yeah. Like $30 for just a little cartridge. Cooter says the time saving is the biggest benefit. He paid off with the first 20 labels in my mind. Red Light 34, late, but I made it. Welcome into the chat. Thanks for jumping on. My box labels are color coded. That won't move the needle for me. So, and that made the needle further for me. Now that I think of it, instead of just writing box 1, box 2, box 3, I might just do box 1 on a lip. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. If I can do it. John says pirate ship is the only way to ship. So John, I'm curious when you say that, and I use pirate ship. Like I used pirate to send out my secret Santa yesterday. I also I brokered a deal for Ryan Nolan, breakout cards, picked up a card for him at the card show on Saturday and sent that out. And I used pirate ship. But I'm curious, do you use pirate ship for your eBay shipments? I don't. I just use eBay shipping. The discounts are the exact same. And so I like to, you know how my mind works. I like to keep everything in the same. And that's why I like eBay. Everything I can just keep, boom, right within eBay. John says pirate ship links to eBay. Interesting. So I just use eBay shipping. So when I go into eBay, so like I'll go to orders awaiting shipment. And this is how I do things. I just go to orders awaiting shipment. And there's, okay, my most recent order is, come on, load. My most recent order is a 1982 TCMA Baseball's Greatest Hitters, George Sisler of the St. Louis Browns. It is in box 10A. So here's box 10 right behind me. And I've got my pile, Baseball's Greatest right here on top, and it's George Sisler. So he's in 10A. Where's George? So sometimes I have to, there he is, George Sisler. Put that back. And I go to purchase shipping label. And then I do standard envelope, purchase label. Got to sleeve George up, get him into a card saver, which are right next to me. This is going to Evansville, Indiana. And I print that shipping label. We get a piece of paper out, put that in there, trifold, envelope right here. We got that. I don't have a trash bag in there. Here's the label. Peel that off, and boom. George Sisler has been sent to Evansville, Indiana. So that's my process. And so that was my most recent order. So that's why sometimes like, oh, here, we'll just send that one out. Let's see. John, send non-card stuff. Never have to wait in line at the post office. Oh, absolutely. I used to use PayPal ship. And then PayPal like completely changed. I was stubborn about pirate ship for a long time. Now I still use discounts, and there's other. Pirate ship isn't the only one with the discounts. PayPal, but I think PayPal's a little different. There's Shippo, I think. Of course, stamps.com, which is a subscription service. But there are other sites out there, but I was stubborn. It's like, I use PayPal. It's so much easier because I use PayPal for everything else. And then all of a sudden PayPal became more and more difficult. I went over to ship, and now if it's a non-eBay transaction, it goes pirate ship all the way. Minneapolis Kid says it integrates with eBay, but it won't work for the envelope shipping. Correct, because the envelope shipping is eBay only. My wife needs something shipped to her parents, then I do it from my basement. Absolutely. And I do the same for when my wife sells like a purse on whatever websites those are, Etsy or whatever that is. Pirate Ship fan here. I have not figured out how to charge eBay shipping to my credit card like you previously could. I tried to, and for some reason mine was doing that. Like I didn't even change the settings. Initially it was always coming out of my managed payments, and then it started coming out of my PayPal. It's like, I don't want that. Like I want it to come off. If anything, if it's not coming out of managed payments, I want it to come off my credit card so I can get those points. But it's more annoying. It's just another way to track. But I got it back on managed payments, and I don't know how I changed. I went into the settings somewhere. There's a setting that you can do that. John says, I wish Pirate Ship did PWEs, only knock on it. Paige and D-Bean says, oh goodness, he's going to do it live. David says, yes, PayPal shipping would allow you to do PWE to Canada. That hack, unfortunately, does not work in Pirate Ship. Stores all the addresses as well. That's what I do like, because I had my Secret Santa address already populated in Pirate Ship. So I typed it in, and I'm like, I better make sure this is the correct address. Boom, it is. I don't need to type most of your addresses in, as it's stored in there. That's what I like. That's what I love about Pirate Ship. Andrew says, I was told that Facebook cracked down on box breakers and kicked them off if they use the word break. That's interesting. I have not heard that. In my favorite breakers are Facebook only. And they're like one of the biggest breakers out there. In fact, they are, what are they? 3-time hobby, real breaks. They are the 3-time Industry Summit Breaker of the Year, 2019, 2020, and 2021 Industry Summit Breaker of the Year. And they are exclusively on Facebook. And I was in a few breaks with them over the weekend for Bowman Chrome. So hopefully that's not the case. It would not surprise me if they would go to their own. I'm kind of surprised with how big they are that they've stayed on Facebook. But when you get to that point, it's like, how do you move? Unless you're forced. So I have not heard that, but that would be interesting if that were the case. Andrew says, my LCS told me that they kicked them off. Maybe there was I'm sure there was a backstory. So there we go. That's what I had for today. So this weekend, program notes, today's Wednesday. So I will go live Thursday, Friday. I will not be live Saturday morning. I'll be recovering from the Club 400 Christmas party, so I can review that on Sunday. Brennan Davis and Cole Franklin, Cubs prospects, will be the guests at our Club 400 Christmas party Friday night. So no Saturday morning. Baseball card curmudgeon just wrapping up. Thanks for jumping on. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We're back on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central, and we'll see you then.